What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. In this video, I'm going to be shooting some AR500 target steel from 500 yards away with my 338 Lapua with tungsten core bullets. And the purpose of this test is to see if these tungsten core bullets will penetrate through a 1/2 inch thick AR500 steel plate at 500 yards. Now, these bullets that I'm going to be using are 260 grains, and they have a tungsten core, and I've hand loaded these to 3,200 feet per second and 6,000 foot-pounds. That's muzzle energy and muzzle velocity. And the impact velocity is going to be right around 2,500 feet per second. And the impact energy at 500 yards is going to be 3,800 foot-pounds. So still a ton of energy at 500 yards. That's about the same amount of energy as a 300 Win Mag at point blank. That's what this can do at 500 yards. So I'm really curious to see if it'll penetrate. I've already done this test at 100 yards. If you want to see the results of that, I'll leave a link in the top right corner. I've also shot some 300 Remington Ultra Mag steel core at these AR500 plates at 100 yards. And if you want to see that test, I'll leave a link in the top right corner. I've also shot my 416 Ruger Elephant gun at these AR500 plates. I'll leave a link to that video in the top right corner as well. I'm going to be using a CZ550 that was customized by my gunsmith. So I have a 416 Rigby receiver here, and I have an Athlon scope, and I have a K&P cut rifled barrel. They're based out of South Dakota. And I have these New England Custom Guns iron sights that were put on by my gunsmith. How cool is that, guys? Iron sights on a 338 Lapua. I think that's pretty sweet. And he did an excellent job on this rifle. Here's my Silencer Co. Hybrid 46, because shooting a 338 Lapua is punishing, so I'm going to shoot it suppressed. I have this Atlas bipod, which is excellent. So let's see what happens, guys. I'm going to shoot at this AR500 plate from 500 yards away with the 338 Lapua 260 grain tungsten core, 3,200 feet per second, 6,000 foot-pounds. Will it pass through? 1/2 inch thick. What do you guys think? All right, guys. 338 Lapua, 260 grain tungsten core versus AR500 target steel, 1/2 inch thick, 500 yards. This bullet has a muzzle velocity of 3,200 feet per second, and that's right around 6,000 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. Let's see if it'll penetrate at 500 yards. Wow, guys, got the worst luck today on this one. Look what happened. So this was my first time shooting at 500 yards with this tungsten core, so I wasn't sure exactly what the elevation adjustment would be. So I was aiming in the center of this 10 by 10 plate, and I was a little bit high, as you could see, about 4 inches high, and I was over to the right because of the wind, and the bullet hit right where the bolt goes through the hole there. So I messed up my bolt. The bolt is completely gone, but looks like the bullet almost penetrated completely through, as you could see right there. And so now I don't have a bolt to hang this plate from, so I'm gonna have to stand it up somewhere. That's not a problem. I'm just a little annoyed that I gotta buy a new bolt now, but there's our hit right there, right where the bolt would be. So this is where the bolt is on the other side. So I literally hit the bolt and just blew the bolt right off. So check that out. Looks like it went a good part of the way through. Pretty interesting. And on the back, didn't really punch through much, but you can see kind of where it hit right there. So I'm gonna have to reset this somewhere, and we're gonna try to hit it again in the middle. I dialed a little bit too much for the elevation, so I'm gonna dial it down and hold just a little bit more to the left. So let's see what happens. All right, guys, so I reset the steel plate. There's a closer look at the first hit. Such weird luck to just hit the bolt itself and mess up the bolt. That's crazy, but looks like it went about halfway through, maybe 3/4 of the way through. So let's hit it again. I'm gonna dial 1 MOA less, and I'm gonna hold a little bit more to the left so we can get more in the middle of this plate. Wow, guys, absolutely insane. Looks like we penetrated at 500 yards with that 260 grain tungsten core. Look at that. Just went right through this 1/2 inch thick AR500 plate. Check that out. That is really impressive. And the impact velocity at 500 yards was right around 2,500 feet per second, and the impact energy right around 3,600 foot-pounds. So it wasn't really traveling super fast, but it still penetrated through, and obviously a muzzle velocity of 3,200 feet per second and muzzle energy of 6,000 foot-pounds. And here's our exit hole. Check that out. Nice clean exit hole. That is really crazy, guys. I definitely was not expecting that. I thought maybe that it would go like halfway through or 3/4 of the way through. So looks like we're gonna have to redo this test at maybe 700 or 800 yards next. And if it still penetrates at 700 or 800 yards, then we're gonna have to go to 1,000 yards. But check that out. That is really impressive, guys. At 500 yards, still penetrating through this 1/2 inch thick AR500 plate. Absolutely insane. So there you guys have it. Check out my 338 Lapua playlist for more 338 Lapua content. And I'll leave links in the top right corner to some of my other playlists where I have my penetration tests like this one. But stay tuned for another test with this plate at 700 or 800 yards. That'll be coming soon. And if it penetrates at 700 or 800, we'll go to 1,000. But that'll be in subsequent videos. So I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you did, leave a comment, hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.